teams, 5 perspectives, 1 division, 1 war room. Welcome to West War Room Rivals, your home for everything AFC West. From breaking news and game day analysis to heated debates, bold predictions, and unforgettable guests. This is West War Room Rivals, where rivals collide. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to West War Room Rivals. It's Tuesday night, and that's guys' night. So I'm here with my comrade, Shovic's up top, Ethan over there in the corner. Matt, we miss you, buddy. Hope you're doing well, serving the nation and doing your thing in the Navy. Guys, I've missed, it feels like 2 weeks. Did I miss anything good?
Yeah, but obviously, as you can tell in your plain ass background, that you have some stuff going on. So, we'll let you slide this time.
You guys like my new decor back here? A little bit different than what I've been usually doing.
Fantastic lamp.
You know what it looks like? It looks like the Raiders trophy case since 2003.
Oh, yeah?
The plain ass wall.
I forget what trophies the Chargers have right now.
Hey, I've heard that enough. I'm good.
I actually wanted to comment that there should be a BC moniker for before the Chargers win a championship, and then it'd still be BC.
It'd still be BC.
You know what's so funny about that is, like, I was giving people like a funny retort. I started commenting. I'm like, you should have just said like since Adam and Eve or something. Right. And then they like totally missed the joke of me like making fun of myself and then just went on their own diatribe about whatever.
They were really up in arms about the aliens and all that stuff. So I thought it was funny as a Raiders fan. I laughed about it, but then the comments kind of rolled in. So it was funny, but I thought it was humorous.
Roll on.
We also hit a pretty big milestone this past week. We crossed 650 on August 1st, and we just kept on going, boys. We're on the doorstep of 700. I think we're 18 away, if I last checked.
Yeah, 682.
Man, blowing right by it. So shout out to everyone that's been subscribing. Corey, I think you went live with Mike on Sunday or Saturday?
Saturday, actually. Yeah, Saturday.
How did that go?
Honestly, it was great. And again, we love Mike and what his team's doing. Obviously, he's staying very busy. He had another episode yesterday, so I was able to watch some of him and Dave were doing something. So, yeah, I mean, it's always fun. It's always great to, chop it up with Mike. He's been a huge supporter and help to the show. So I know he's going to be wanting to get you guys on there as well as we get ready. So you guys have found someone to go to battle with when your teams take on said Broncos. So I know he said he was going to let you guys have it, but deep down, and I know he's a great guy, and you guys would obviously enjoy the conversation with him.
Yeah, and then we had Daniel on from Locked On Chargers that was on last week. So shout out to him for joining the pod.
David.
I'm sorry, David. My apologies. My bad.
You
guys.
said that in the group text. And I'm like, maybe I just went with it, but I'm like, I'm pretty sure it was. I tagged the dude on like 3 different reels on TikTok, and I'm like, I think I was
confused because I thought I saw his Instagram handle be something Dan, and I was like, oh, Daniel, like easy, but David, got it.
And let's just Ethan go ahead and give him the shout out for that was one of our biggest ones.
Yeah, I mean, David Drogermeyer is a fantastic dude. If you haven't listened to Locked On Chargers, make sure to watch it. This is where his co-host is Daniel Wade. And
there you go.
It's David and Daniel. So that might be where you're getting it.
That could be exactly why.
He's a fantastic dude. But to celebrate him coming on and all the above, that was our most listened to episode we've had so far in the history of the podcast. It's about to pass 1,000 views on YouTube. It's about to have the most likes. It has the most watch time by far. So thank you to everyone tuning in and enjoying the Chargers content. Thank you to those who tuned in to Aftershock as well for me going to training camp. I hope you enjoyed it. Trying to figure out if I'll go again. But thank you to everyone for supporting. And again, I'll plug it just like I did in Aftershock multiple times. If you haven't subscribed to West War Room Rivals, make sure to hit it right now. Make sure to hit the like button for us. It really does help, and it helps the algorithm push our stuff out.
Shout out to Ethan for that plug. All right, guys. So we have a ice-breaking question here, and this actually came through our group chat probably like 10 minutes before we went on. And I think it's a new career aspiration for us. I think we're going to retire the pod. We're going to try our hand at being an offensive coordinator for the Akron football team. So, I guess Akron is allowing one lucky person to be the offensive coordinator for the opening drive if they buy season tickets. So Ethan, you showed us your play. What would be your first play that you would draw up?
I haven't thought of a name, but I designed it while I was sitting here, so I'll show it on camera. I think it's a nice. Oh, don't look at my linebacker notes.
Okay.
It's a nice high-low concept. So as you can see, everything's dragging to the right side of the offensive line. So it starts with the tight end over here. He's on a little 10-yard post, and we got the running back slipping out underneath. Then we got trips on the left, and we're going to drag our slot receiver on a slant, and then we're going to be bringing our other two on deep routes. So we're going to be giving our quarterback a little bit of a high-low concept here.
Mm-hmm.
We're really going to read from right to left. And so the deep ball will come last in the progression, but that's my play. I don't have a name for it.
I dig it.
That's what I would run.
And Cody in the comments here with the halfback dive. That'd be a sick opening play. We should
No, that says
that.
fullback dive.
Fullback
It's halfback. Sorry,
That's different.
it is different.
That's old school. People don't know that anymore.
What's a
That's
fullback?
just smash mouth.
Right. Corey, you used to coach back in the day. What would be the play you draw up?
Yeah, not football though, but obviously I still played a lot of Madden in my youth. But yeah, no, I'm going with the triple option game. Like we're gonna line up in the diamond set. We're gonna bring one guy across. We're gonna fake, or the quarterback's gonna read to the fullback, pull or give.
So fullback dive.
So it's essentially gonna be the fullback dive. Shout out to the Emporia High Fighting Spartans. That's what got us to glory. So we ran, well, I guess you can say that, but yeah, we're running the old triple option set.
All right, Austin, what would be your play?
Y'all are boring. I'm starting the season off with a halfback pass. Like I don't even care. Like if it was perfect and we could do it, it's gonna toss it to the running back and the quarterback does a wheel route. And I'm gonna hit the quarterback up the sideline, but I don't know what Akron's working with,
You're
man.
going Philly special, is what you're
That's the
saying?
problem. I haven't done any scouting.
We don't know. We don't know any of
I
these
don't know anything
players.
about this offense I'm taking over, but if they got athleticism at the quarterback position, he's running a wheel route. My halfback's gonna throw it to him. So
All right.
it's Akron, bro. Like
Mac.
you have to
This is
lose.
Mac.
I would say I was kidding. I'd probably go 4 verticals, but I'd probably throw in some sort of play action, maybe a little option route for the tight end to just kind of get a little opening feel for the play. But if I wanted to really be like over the top, I'd go 4 verticals. Why not? Like you're never gonna do this again, so you might as well just go all the way.
Better hope Gino's not your quarterback. You're throwing that shit right to the other team.
I actually would hope that it'd be somebody with like a Jamarcus Russell arm. Just let everyone get down to the end, toss it as far as you can go. See if maybe you get a tip pass in there.
I want you guys
really
to know that Cody's so scarred by like how bad the Raiders offense has been that really just going over the top and going forward is 4 verts.
I gotta say, if you really wanted to throw them off, and it's in the style of what Austin said, just come out with a fake field goal. Just come out field goal formation and have your
the
holder
opposite
get up and
20-yard
throw
line.
that ball.
But coach, we're on our 13-yard line.
Wins at our back, boys. Let's go.
We're playing golf today.
Right.
Yeah, like that's Cody. I went with your thought, but I actually kind of went extra and over the top. I thought,
No. I like that. I mean, I could have said like flea flicker or something, really throw the defensive off, but I was like, 4 verts, just go for it. Or
Go for the
we
whole,
ran
like,
it-
fumble
could've ran-
Brewski.
I was gonna say that, or the annexation of Puerto Rico for those that grew up watching the Little Giants. I think I just aged ourselves on that one.
Yeah, you did. Half the comments are like, "What?"
Yeah, you've seen the Little Giants,
I
right?
mean, to be fair, a fourth of the podcast has no idea what you're talking about. So
That's okay.
Oh, okay.
Well, the other, what is it? 75% of the audience is old, according to Ethan. So
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's okay. We don't need to age ourselves. We don't need to continue to talk how
Yeah.
we know we're old. We get it.
So
Yeah.
tune into Akron's season opener for the chance to see some. It may not be one of us, but it's going to be a season ticket holder.
I'm
calling the opening drive.
not buying season tickets to Akron.
I don't know. You could be offensive
I mean,
coordinator.
do you think they're like super affordable right now? Like, do you think they're just
yeah,
It's Akron. Like,
it's Akron. It's probably less than like $300.
yeah.
Oh,
Because I'm not, you sit up in the nosebleeds and that's still going to be, you're going to see pretty much everything. Now, I'm not going to sit here and do on the Mac or anything.
They're still better than I am at football.
Yeah, like they're still, and again, I'm a KU fan, so I literally can't say anything about that.
All right. Well, shout out to the icebreaker for that one. So tonight's episode, you guys, we're visiting our AFC West positional review, and we're doing linebackers tonight. So we're going to go team by team as we've done for every other position. So we'll start with probably the strongest linebacker room, or arguably tied for it, I'd say. And we'll start with the Broncos on the linebacking room.
What?
Holy shit.
Tongue in cheek.
Wow.
Sorry.
All right. Well, hey, I mean, yeah, I mean, they have two good starters. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say they're the best, and we'll get to the rankings later. But again, you have Alex Singleton and Justin Stranad both back, obviously. But, you know, it's no Dre Greenlaw, then the depth behind it. So the first one here is the biggest strengths. Well, it's the continuity. Alex Singleton still the green dot, still one of the captains of the defense. He still knows Vance Joseph's defense very well. You still trust what he's doing. And then Justin Stranad, he's a speed backer. So he's very good on the blitzes. His time to quarterback was one of the best in the NFL last year. That's as good of the strength as it gets with those two guys. Because obviously we can get into the concerns here shortly, but to start off with those, I mean, the strength is just the continuity.
All right. And then what's the best part of this group?
The best part of this group?
The best part of this group?
Yeah, I mean, again, it's the continuity. Alex Singleton being back again. I mean, he's a great tackler. It's just getting to the correct spot in time, because obviously we talked in depth about, yes, he makes the for sure tackles, but he's not getting to, it's 4 to 6 yards down the field already before he's finally making contact. So that's definitely an issue, because right there they're already set up in short and medium, or they get that third down and very manageable situation. So obviously that's not their biggest strength of that. It's just the fact that he's been there, he knows what he's doing, he can get guys in the right spot, and then rely on the big guys up front to try to get some disruption.
All right. Any questions on the duo or on the positional group?
Yeah, I think we should address the comment. We got a comment, Stranad will be an all-pro. Do you think that's a reality, or do you think it's just kind of a take?
Well, I mean, it is his first year as a full-time starter, right? But I don't think so. He's not an all-pro. Pro Bowler, that's still probably even a stretch too. I do know with him on the field, you can look at the blitz schemes a little bit more, because again, he does have the quick ability to get to the quarterback, but you can't sit there and be predictable with it. And Vance won't be predictable. Vance, obviously, yeah, there you go.
Hit a little chupacabra farts.
Chupacabra farts. Yeah, and again, and Cody, I see where you're coming from when you say that. I mean, it's his first full year as a starter. Let's see what he can get under full season. But yeah, no, I'm not gonna say he's an all-pro, let alone a Pro Bowler. But I am very curious to see how they use him in that blitz package and scheme.
All right, are we good on that?
Yeah, I got one question for you, actually, Corey.
What's up?
Depth wise, so if one of these two guys, just because I don't know the Broncos linebacking core all that well, if one of these two guys is out a game, who is most likely coming in?
Yeah, that's the $1 million question right now, right? It's one of those where you heard me say this over the last few weeks, that Denver's an Alex Singleton, Justin Stranad injury away from probably having a little bit of an issue. We can be on this Red Murdoch bandwagon all we want, but until we actually see him play in the NFL, in the NFL scheme, it's going to be Murdoch and or York. And York's a smaller guy, so I don't see him actually being the next guy up. I think it would be Red Murdoch. You can hope Drew Sanders, for some reason, is healthy again. I don't think that'll be an option, but yeah, dude, it is. It's a very big concern, and I do have my doubts with this, because we've seen both those guys get hurt in the past. Alex Singleton, obviously, with the cancer stuff last year, hopefully all that's taken care of, but he's had, lower body injuries. And then Stranad, obviously, I think he's had a hand and a lower body injury as well. So that's definitely something to keep an eye on. And that's why I'm curious to see how the rest of camp kind of plays out with those two young guys.
What do you think the chances are that the Broncos maybe add a veteran to that group?
I don't, not unless there's an injury. I mean, you can look, there's Bobby Wagner's out there. Levante David just
sixth player in Madden.
Yeah. So, well, someone just signed. Devin White, I think, just signed. So he's off the board. Yeah. I don't see them making any signings unless someone gets hurt or they realize that they have a huge problem. I mean, they went the whole offseason and didn't address it. And I've voiced my frustration with that part.
Yeah. All right. Moving on to the Chiefs linebacking group. Austin, floor is yours.
I do think in the AFC West, Nick Bolton as a single inside linebacker is probably the best linebacker in the division. Just out of consistency. He's more of an old school guy, though. He's going to rack up tackles, but he's not much of a blitzer, not much for pass rushing, pass coverage either. But I think the biggest strength is the two inside linebackers, their starters. They're complementary. Bolton's the downhill run stuffer, and Tranquil is fantastic in pass coverage, who holds his own in the run game. So I think they're complementary. They've played together for a few years now. Very durable duo as well, which makes the kind of lack of depth not quite as concerning, but you're still just one freak injury away from kind of like Denver. Not really sure what's going to be replacing, and do we move a safety and try to have that filled? But as far as the linebackers go themselves, I just think continuity, complementary. The best part of the group, you kind of just know what you're going to get from them. I think that's kind of nice. You know, Bolton's going to get, 130, 140 plus tackles, double-digit tackles for loss, and Tranquil is going to be the linebacker in coverage. He does pretty well on running backs and tight ends. They've actually had him covering receivers this training camp too, and he's done okay, which I think that goes to show more of the Chiefs' issue with receivers creating separation, but that's a whole nother hour episode we could do. But and then elite instead, I think Nick Bolton's the best one in the division. You take that for what it's worth. Probably not the strongest positional group in the division, especially if we're talking about just numbers wise. So I like Nick Bolton. I like Drew Tranquil. I'm happy with my linebacker core in Kansas City.
Leo Chenal is a big loss because that's your QB spy. So it'd be very interesting to see how that kind of maps out. Are they going to have one of their speed guys on the edge, maybe drop down? I mean, Drew Tranquil maybe, but I don't think he was as, elite at it. I mean, Leo Chenal was really good at it. I mean, they had him spying Lamar Jackson. They've had him spying Josh Allen. So that one's going to be very curious to see as far as, who kind of takes over that Leo role, because he's actually doing really well in Washington so far in training camp. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, we never let Leo Chenal really let loose as a linebacker, though, either. He was always just kind of the spy pass rusher. So I am curious to see. That is a loss, especially in today's league, right? Quarterbacks are athletic. I mean, even in our division, Bo Nix, Justin Herbert, not Kirk Cousins.
That's the most athletic one.
Yeah, there's athleticism here. So I am curious on that. But, the person tabbed with replacing him is Jeffrey Bassa, who the one thing that was high on him coming out of college was his athleticism. So if all he's asked to do is come in and use the athleticism to spy and kind of rush the passer, I think that's okay. Because we never asked if Chanel was dropping into coverage, that's where the ball was going for the offense. So as big of a loss as Chanel is, just because of comfortable depth, I think you won't really see it until you play those athletic quarterbacks and see what kind of heyday they have on the Chiefs.
Is there anyone else? I mean, it sounds like Tranquil, but is there anyone else that you can see being like a dark horse that could actually be, I'd say, the spark to this group to be successful?
No, I mean, Bolton's the spark. There's not even someone who can come in and take reps or even compete for one of those spots. Those spots are Bolton and Tranquil's. Mm-hmm. The other linebackers, Bassa and Cochran, those will be special teams guys who may come in in a specialty role actually on defense, but it's kind of like Denver. If you're asking meaningful linebacker snaps from anyone outside the top two, it's going to be you're just curious to see how it would look. All the experiences in those top two. We hope we don't have to, but again, it's football. You never know what's going to happen. And right now, Bassett is that third linebacker. If anything were to happen, he's the one who would have to step up.
All right. Anything else for the Chiefs, you guys?
No, sir.
All right, Ethan. Let's dive into the Chargers linebacking group.
Yeah, I'll keep this pretty short and sweet because, to be honest, the Chargers rarely play with two linebackers on the field because of the role of Derwin James and how much they play dime. So I'm not really going to talk about the linebackers all that much. All I'll say is, like, the headline is Deion Henley. Deion Henley was fantastic his sophomore season. First year with Jesse Minter. He came out, had 120 tackles, was a fantastic player. Last year, numbers and stats still looked good, but the tape itself wasn't that great. But he was going through so much off the field stuff. It's honestly remarkable he even played. His dad got arrested. His brother got murdered. He got like a severe flu before the Raiders game. Like it's honestly crazy. He even played and played relatively well. So like when you talk about strengths of the Chargers, it's Deion Henley. He's going into a contract year. He's an older player, so this is probably his last time to get paid unless if he starts doing just prove-it deals the rest of the way. But behind him is honestly just like a lot of depth pieces in special teams players, and a lot of them are very good at those roles, but they're not like anything that I'm going to brag about. Like Denzel Perriman is a fine run defender at this point, but that's all he can do. He can basically only play first and second down, and he gets hurt all the time, and he's gotten suspended. Troy Dye is a special teams player who we just got. He's really underrated. I disagree. I think he's a bad run defender, but he's good in pass coverage, but his athleticism limits him quite a bit. I'm not that big of a Troy Dye guy. Another one, Deshaun Phillips, who is our special teams guy. He was an all-pro last year for special teams. He played in the Denver game, played fairly well, but he's only played 55 defensive snaps before that Denver game. So like he's barely played any defense. And then, as you guys know, I usually never talk about like fringe roster guys because I kind of shy away from like, oh, are they going to make the team? But I'm actually going to sing the praises of Marlo Wax. I think Marlo Wax was a UDFA last year who played some service, played some special teams, and then played the full Denver game in week 18 and played really well. He looked good in the preseason last year. Seems like in training camp he's playing well. So I think he makes the team, which leaves the odd man out, which is Junior Colson, who is the third-round pick from Michigan, who may be on the outside looking in. Now, I believe that they will not cut Junior Colson because I think he is a Michigan guy. He's a third-round pick. He's dealt with injuries. I don't see Jim Harbaugh giving up on him. So I'm going to give a hot take, and probably the comments will flame me for it. You guys might flame me for it. I think Denzel Perriman might be off this roster by when 53-man cuts come because he doesn't play special teams and he plays such a limited role. I have a hard time seeing them keeping him over taking the risk of what Junior Colson can be with 2 years left on his rookie deal from Michigan. I think Wax is on the team. I just saw that comment. Yeah.
Solid. Wait, I see what you did there.
Wax on, wax off. Yeah.
So that's my breakdown of the Chargers.
I don't think that's too hot take though. Like you see the veterans at this time of year. Like
he gave it a good run.
Yeah. I mean,
and
I
he'll
guess
get
it didn't
scooped up quick. Like he won't be.
It's still a
he won't be
veteran
teamless
presence
for long.
Yeah, it's veteran presence. He'll find a home.
That's what I think. I just think he's the last San Diego Charger, so I think a lot of Charger fans like love him. I just think a lot of Charger fans aren't honest about what he is at this point because they all hate Bud Dupree. But
Yeah.
to be honest, I don't think him and Denzel Perriman are that different at this point of their careers, except one was on the San Diego Chargers and was drafted by them in 2016, and the other was a veteran who was brought in 2 years ago.
How old is Henley?
Henley was drafted at 24, so he must be like 27, 28.
I think he was like my defensive player of the week, like the first 3 weeks last season.
He's 26.
Oh, 26.
So that's yeah, I get. He's one of my favorite players to watch. I can tell you that much. It just seems like every time you throw a Chargers game on and you're watching their defense, I mean, obviously you know where 3's at, but then you're like, who the hell is this number 0? And it's just like, damn, he's actually, making plays, and it's just, you look at the box score and it's like, okay, I see you. I mean, obviously Thule's going to do what Thule does, and then obviously Derwin James, but Henley's a sneaky, well, not so much sneaky anymore, because obviously what he was able to do last season.
Henley and Strnad, believe it or not, and Strnad was in limited playing time, but for off-ball linebackers, we're not throwing in Benito and everything. They actually had some of the best tackles and tackle for loss stats. I think Strnad in the division. I'm not throwing Roquan, but I think Strnad was first in sacks. Henley was second. And then Bolton was tackles for loss and tackles. Henley, I think, was up there in interceptions or turnovers forced in general.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they all have their strengths. And I think 2 years ago was when Henley was doing everything. We'd see the game. Yeah, you'd look at the box score and it was 10 tackles, 2 sacks, interception, fumble recovery. He was just doing everything. So if he gets back to that form, I think you can have a conversation that he's clearly the best linebacker in the division, just because he does everything.
Also, side note about him, he has some of the best jersey fits. He looks so icy every game. The way he wears the double long sleeves and with the visor, I think he looks so cool.
He's still going to be second in middle linebacker aura in this division, because Nakobe Dean always goes out there with that brace and a dark visor, and it always looks pretty sick.
Yeah, that tricep hasn't healed in how many seasons? He just wears it now for fashion.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's a good transition. What about the Raiders?
Yeah,
you actually have some linebackers to talk about, big guy.
We do, and actually, it's kind of very similar to all the other positional groups where we brought in a bunch of new guys, and we just need to see what we have. But encouraging sign is we upgraded from having a Devin White who just signed with Detroit to upgrading to a Quay Walker. At one point we did have Robert Spillane, not last season, but a couple seasons ago. And now we also have the other Georgia Bulldog in Nakobe Dean from the Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles. So just those two alone right there just help that defense go up just a little bit. And especially with Quay Walker, just all that I've heard in camp so far is how he's seeing the field, how he's going around, and Clint Kubiak is in love with him. Rob Leonard just loves to scheme around him. So Quay Walker, who had 128 tackles last season, will probably be in the triple digits again. He's going to be all over the field, I suspect. I think the big question mark, if I had to say about this linebacking group, though, is Nakobe Dean, just because injury kind of ridden. He went into mini camp before training camp already injured. And so now it's just kind of more or less to see how he progresses, and he already has a label of being injured. So it's just to see if they can get both of those guys on the field at the same time, how this defense will look. Because I can't think of any linebacker that the Raiders had that has been that sort of Mike linebacker that has been the guy that could help run the defense and get guys in position, where you got a Quay Walker, which how Green Bay let him walk away is beyond me. But you have a guy like that who could help this defense just be in position to succeed. So I think that's what's the most encouraging part about that as well. And we do have some other guys here too that have shown some flashes, but again, with this elevated talent may help them elevate as well. Tommy Eichenberg is one. Cody Linderberg is another one. Literally the carbon copy of one another, one from Michigan, one from Ohio State. So if those guys can just learn under Quay Walker, and Kobe Dean could also be good rotational guys and good in the pass coverage. Speaking of Perriman, the Raiders had Perriman before, and he wasn't great in coverage, but he was able to cover a lot of ground. And I feel like these Raider linebackers now are able to do a little bit better in coverage. Like they're able to be in better positions, and they're very their strengths are being able to get in the right position. So I'm very encouraged about this linebacking group. It's one of the few spots I thought they did better than I expected. Again, like when the regular season comes, we'll really see what they have going, but I'm really encouraged with this group that we have rolling in this season.
Yeah, I want to do a side note. I know why the Packers let him go. They traded for Zaire Franklin, and then they also have Edrin Cooper. Not to like disrespect Quay Walker, but like Packers are set there. Beneficiary of the Raiders. So in case you were wondering, like somebody out there is like, haha, Packers stupid. They're okay at linebacker. And Raiders were the beneficiary of that. Like,
yeah,
why not? Right. So yeah, I think your linebacker core, depending on how well they gel and stay healthy, I think it could be the best linebacker duo in the division this season, depending on how quick they gel, how they're used, and again, how many games they play together. Because I think last year was Nakobe Dean's most games played at 10.
Right.
So skepticism there, but
yeah. That's the thing about health with Dean is, you know, again, I think even in the playoff run where they went to the Super Bowl, I think he blew out his tricep, I think, in the championship game. So he didn't even make it to the Super Bowl. But was he instrumental in the defense? He was. But again, he's had that injury plague on him since he's been in the league.
Yep.
Yeah. But again, having Quay Walker, and I think there's a pattern that the Raiders are doing with having like a Quay Walker, Nakobe Dean. They just drafted again Stukes and then Dalton Johnson, just guys that have really great chemistry together to where they're more of a unit that's important. I feel like that's what the Raiders are going for, to where they can all kind of like elevate one another as a shared responsibility rather than like get one main guy that's doing his own thing. You get another like Robin to the Batman rather than just having like random guys there. So I mean, I didn't want to sound hyperbolic, but I'm really encouraged about this linebacking group within the division that if it turns out the way we suspect, it should be one of the more solid ones within the division, if not this most solid one.
How'd you not even use a Superman reference or a Spider-Man reference, man? You were blowing up about that.
Well, Spider-Man doesn't have a sidekick.
I mean, Mary Jane's close enough. I don't know if that's her name.
No, I
Did
mean,
you guys see Brand New Day?
I have not
It's
yet,
good.
so don't you dare.
Guys, throw the spoilers
shut
in the
your mouth
comments
right
if you
now.
can.
Don't do that.
No,
Ethan,
don't.
anything on the Raiders
I will
linebackers?
Shut this thing down. Right now.
It's funny. I'm going to take this opportunity because there's a comment that's like, seriously solid linebackers across the division. I think this is the weakest division group across the AFC West. Like, Nakobe Dean and Quay Walker are good linebackers, but they're not like anything that I'm like pounding the table of like, this is a building block piece, to be honest. And I'm going to say the Raiders is the best.
Yeah. Well, and I look at it is Quay Walker and Nakobe Dean are a step up because of what the Raiders have had.
Yep.
Right. Now, I did see today that this is going to be a Vic Fangio-like scheme, which actually kind of makes sense because you have Max Crosby and then you insert Quay Walker and Nakobe Dean with some of the other pieces. This actually makes a lot of sense. Now, is it going to be No, it's not Vic Fangio's, but this is one of the better defensive schemes where it kind of gives you a couple of different looks. Now, you're going to rely on your defensive line because that scheme doesn't really use very many blitzes, so they rely on the pass rushers to get to where they need to be. But yeah, I think we look at this because of what the Raiders have had at that position. Yeah, Quay Walker is absolutely 100% an upgrade. Nakobe Dean, if it stays out, it's going to be an upgrade. Even if you were to play 10 to 12 games, that's still an upgrade from what they've had. So not to doo-doo on you, Cody, but I mean, it's still pretty, this is the right step of getting younger guys in there at some point.
Well, I think I'd have to go compare. I think inside linebacker's kind of a dying breed anyway. Mm-hmm. So I'd have to go compare to other divisions because I think we can all comfortably say our four teams definitely don't have the depth that makes us comfortable. But I am curious on divisions. I'll do that research tonight. But I am curious on what inside linebackers look like across divisions.
We have teams that have the guys that move around, Micah Parsons, some of these others that can do the, beat down, they can do D-line, they can move inside, they can go out. So those are very rare. And I don't necessarily know. I know Denver probably doesn't have one of those types of players, but
You're getting
it's like
more,
hybrids.
Yeah, you're getting more of the hybrid, the Derwin
James. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Deion Henley fits that. The problem is he's been a little inconsistent, so I'm not ready to like make any like
Exactly.
bold case. But I think he's the most talented linebacker in the division. I think it's just if he puts it all together, because he has all the physical tools and he's a very good blitzer. And it's like an underrated part of his game. Like in the Brazil game last year when he tracked down Mahomes and threw him over his shoulder. It like he has flashes of where you're like, man, this could be like one of the best linebackers in the game. But there's also inconsistency there because he's so athletic that he gets out of position a lot and he can get wiped pretty easily. And so like that's why I think like if the Chargers can get like a Vita Vea here, I think it would really help this linebacker group because all they have to worry about is shooting gaps, which will help Derwin and Deion because all they got to read is what's in front of them instead of using their athleticism to overthink and wash themselves out of plays.
Yeah, so I'm sitting here if you think about the defense coordinators in our division, obviously we'll go what Mentor had with the Chargers and obviously Vance, Spags, the consistency and the continuity that they've had. They kind of knew where to put these guys. Very scheme friendly, right? Like they knew stay home, stick to your assignments. We'll get you in the right spots. And I think you've seen that over the last few years. Patrick Graham wasn't a terrible D coordinator. The Raiders defense played well under Patrick Graham. It just obviously new regime, new start. Here we go. So it'll be very interesting to see what Rob Leonard can do. But I think it's interesting to note that with the Vic Fangio scheme and what they're going to do, then that's going to be very assignment sound because it's going to be, what do you know about Vic Fangio's defense? Bend, don't break. Inside the 20s, they're very, very tough in the red zone. From 20 to 20, they're going to give up some big plays. They're going to give up theirs. But once it gets down to the crunch time and spots, I think the Raiders will have those players that, just don't give up the touchdowns on the long plays, get to yourself to the red zone and let the defense pack in. I think you'll have the right scheme there.
Yeah. As long as we don't give up touchdowns and like we can walk away with field goals or missed opportunities on the defense, I think we'll be okay. Honestly, like Ethan mentioning about wanting Vita Vea to be on the Chargers, I think, the Raiders should do that because the same reason, like that would help the linebacking core and it would help really put pressure in the middle and maybe even give Max an extra guy that can now come around the edge, not double teamed or vice versa for Vea. So I think, why I would want the Raiders to go for him as well would be to help the linebacking group.
I think every team in our division should probably try to go get Vita.
Oh my gosh. If Vea just, I don't want this to happen, but if he wind up with either the Chiefs or the Broncos, like shit, like that sucks because it just makes that defense that much better with already good pieces and good D coordinators there.
Can I say a take about the Raiders and the Vita Vea thing really fast?
Sure.
I think it would be really irresponsible if they did that. He's too old of a player to give away draft capital that they need while they're in the middle of a rebuild in a loaded draft class. Like, I understand the idea of like, oh, it'd be exciting, but like, what does he actually do for the Raiders? Do they win another game with Vita Vea?
Sure. But what I would say though, is like, okay, what's the highest draft compensation you think? I think the Raiders like highest level that they would give is maybe like a fourth and maybe a throw in a fifth. I would be surprised if they were willing to throw in a third unless they really felt like in 2 seasons that this group is really going to go to the next level. I think like fourth
yeah,
and
but
fifth round would be
then it's not worth having the conversation because that's not what's going to be traded.
Because then there's going to be a contender who will give up a third. And then what are you going to do? Like the Raiders can't give up thirds like some of the contending teams can. Chargers could easily give up a 3rd round pick. Chargers aren't going to need that 3rd round pick. Denver
they could easily give up a 2 if they wanted to. Like
exactly. It's like these contenders are going to just automatically just kind of flush out the Raiders at some point because, and if the Raiders are out there offering up a 2nd round pick, then I'd have questions about that because
it's basically a 1st round pick.
Yeah, at that point,
I don't think that's going to happen. But I understand what you guys are saying. I think what I'm saying is the Raiders have a ceiling of what they're going to probably offer, and if it goes beyond that, they're not going to mortgage their future that they worked so hard this offseason to get back on track for one player.
Yeah, and that's fair. I think it's more of, I think a lot of people are saying like the Raiders should trade a 2nd round pick for him, which to me makes no sense from a roster building perspective because Vita Vea is like, you need one more piece.
I wouldn't even give up a 2nd for him though. Like even as a contender,
like I would be not saying that the Chargers wouldn't do this, but I would be surprised if the Chargers did just because I think a 3rd round pick is a little bit rich for a player like for Vita unless you're okay with that. And if the Chargers said, hey, 3rd round pick, no big deal, and this makes this that much better. But I also don't see the Chargers doing that for the similar reasons to what you said about the Raiders. Like in terms of timeline and age, that doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, I disagree with the Chargers just because of, to them, like they have 2 3rd-round picks this year because of their comp pick formula.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're really playing a game of like you're sitting there as Joe Ortiz and you're like, we know we can extend the guy for at least 1 or 2 more seasons, plus anything else, I think you make that deal, but we'll see. So it's just me and Cody now.
Yeah, our show
why they get rebooted.
I think they're getting rebooted right now. Either that or there is a tornado that they did not tell us about that they're fighting off right now. So, but we'll continue on. They'll jump back in a
continue.
minute.
How about let's talk about the Raiders a little bit in the meantime. I think Nakobe Dean is a great piece for them because I think the pass rush juice will really help the young defense. I do kind of worry that it's not a great signing though, because that defensive tackle room isn't strong enough, which I guess then leads back to the Vita Vea conversation.
Right.
But because like the thing that makes Nakobe Dean is so good is I guess it's what I said about Deion Henley of that, like he's so athletic and he's able to jump those gaps so easily. So he gets those big TFLs and those big sacks. I kind of worry behind these defensive tackles if he's really going to be able to do that. I don't know. What do you think, Cody?
Well, I think the iteration that we see of the Raiders defense, I think is like, you can tell it's a rebuild project, right? Like it's not full strength. This isn't exactly what they would put out there. This is like what they're putting out with veterans. That's why like Nakobe Dean was, you can make the argument, and I would say that he was overpaid for what he's produced and, you know, how long he's been on the field. And again, like the Raiders have a lot of pieces that are on majority 3-year contracts. So they're banking on not even this season, maybe next season, they're going to add a piece or two, maybe in the draft, maybe a free agency piece comes along that they're going to be able to address those issues and be much better, you know, defensively than they are today. Because again, having Villa would make that defense better in general. Like he's a good player, but and to the credit that we've been talking about for the future wise, does that make sense? Do you then mortgage like what you could potentially do next season for one player that may or may not re-sign with the Raiders, even if you give up that draft pick? Because he's looking for a new deal. How much do you want to be tied to him when you've got players coming up next season or in the draft that maybe you want to wait for and keep building that defense, to your point, you know?
For sure. Welcome back, Austin and Corey.
Yeah, no, hey, it's been a while since we had a little internet connection issue, so we'll take that.
Nice. All right, let's continue on. Let's go with the biggest concerns of your group. So, Corey, I'm going to throw it back to you for your linebacking group. I have an idea what it is, but why don't you go ahead and tell us what you think the biggest concerns are?
Well, I mean, obviously, it's the injuries in depth. So, I mean, it's fairly common and very familiar that if we, you know, lose one of these guys, it's going to be very interesting to see how that happens. So, short, quick, and simple to the point, depth and injuries.
All right, Austin?
Yeah, it's depth. I love my starters, but if anyone else needs to get meaningful snaps, don't feel too great about it. So it's depth.
All right, Ethan?
Mine is the number 2 linebacker. Like Deion Henley is like the established guy. I just feel like there's a lot of dudes that are rotating in as the second guy. And I'm not even saying there's going to be anyone that emerges because this defense doesn't really need anyone to emerge because of the role of Derwin James. But if I were to pick a concern, it'd be that. All
right. For my Raiders, I would say injuries. Like Nakobe Dean is a good signing. We just kind of chatted about this a minute ago, Ethan, where it's a little bit of an overpay. And then if he's not on the field often enough to be next to Quay Walker, or maybe even Quay Walker getting injured, which, you know, he's been relatively healthy, that would be diminished for that group. So injuries for me would be my biggest concern for our linebacking group for the Raiders. All right. So biggest thing you want answered from this group in camp. So quickly, Ethan, what do you want them to answer?
Is Marlo Wax and Junior Colson, like, what does that position battle look like? Because that's probably the last linebacker spot we're really talking about. So first of all, is Marlo Wax like legit? But now that pads came on, they came on today. We'll start to get a better idea. But linebackers are really made during the preseason anyway, so like that's when we'll really see. And then is Junior Colson still stuck in cement? The last couple off seasons, basically every time he's taken the field, he looks so slow, which makes no sense because he was literally the green dot player in Jesse Minter's defense at Michigan for 3 years. But he looked like the player who knew it the least. And so we'll see when he comes back what it looks like.
All right. Austin?
Yeah, I think I'd like to just see no injuries, please. Not only to the linebacker core, but to just anyone in general. But second, I want to see some depth get created here. I'd like to see Jeffrey Bassa. I believe in him as a third, but I'd like to see him just take those next steps. Jack Cochran's going to make the roster. And for training camp purposes, the biggest thing I want answered is him to not be on the roster. That's not going to happen. So just some good quality progression from the depth is what I would like to see.
All right. Corey?
Yeah, it's similar. I want to see what these two young guys, Red Murdoch, Mr. Irrelevant, and then Terry and York. There's Reed, then Bailey. So, I mean, there's guys at camp that, and obviously it's there for the taking. So here we go.
Yeah, I think what I want answered is if Cody Lindenberg and Tyler Eichenberg, if they can be pivotal like 2 or 3 and 4 in the rotation to where if injuries happen, they can fill in these roles because, they come from prominent teams with good defenses. I want to see now how they've progressed in years 2 and 3 respectively of the two, just for that extra depth. Like we can't rely solely on the two in Dean and Walker. So really the Berg brothers is what I'll call them since they both have similar last names. Really want them to be able to progress so that way they're pivotal roles in the defense.
Nailed
All
it.
right. So grades and predictions. So Ethan, I'll kick this off with you. What would you give a letter grade and how would you rank them?
Look, this is probably the least optimistic I am. Like, I'm not going to lie. I gave the hot take on From the Back Seat like 3 years ago that I thought linebackers was a dying position. And I still kind of believe that in the modern NFL. I think like Deion Henley's a good player. So I'm not going to get into the C's, but I'm going to give it a B-. I think this is, even though like it has the depth and Charger fans talk it up, it's my least exciting position group. I don't think outside of Deion Henley, there's any plus player here besides for like if you're buying the stock of Marlo Wax, who's a UDFA last year who played 1 game. So like I can't give it a high score, and I might be a little too critical on it because my bias also comes out, but that's where I'd put it.
All right. Corey?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a C+. Again, first time full starter in Strnad, which I have faith in him and his ability in certain aspects. And then obviously Alex Singleton's getting up there in age, and then the mystery behind it. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a C+.
All right, Austin.
Yeah, I'm gonna give mine B+. I like the complimentary linebackers. They stay on the field quite often. We don't really rotate them in and out too much, especially with Tranquil being able to cover. So the starters, it's B+, and if I'm gonna rank them, it's right now Chiefs, Chargers, Raiders, Broncos, with a high potential of the Raiders being the best linebacker duo by the end of the season if things go well.
Yeah, I'd say for my Raiders, I'd say about an A- for the room. I'm really encouraged by the upgrades, but if I had to rank them, I would still have them third. So
You're gonna be so sad this season.
Whoa.
You just say A-.
Wait, you gave him an A- and then put him third in the division?
I mean, on
What would
paper,
you rank the other linebacker rooms? You think they're A's?
5, 6, and 7. Just kidding.
Wow.
No,
I would go Raiders, Chiefs, Chargers, Broncos. I mean,
That's my exact list.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just encouraged by the upgrade of the linebacking core. I mean, like, listen, if kind of like when we did our offseason grades for this linebacking group, I'm just encouraged by the that we've upgraded to compared to what we had last season, where we had Devin White and Jamal Adams being our linebacking core, basically. So
I know deep down you gave them an A-, and you meant to say they were number 1, not 3.
Yeah, I think that's the. I don't understand the A- because you said they're third.
That's why you don't move in heat advisories, Cody.
that's right. I mean, shoot, it's right now still 106. So
Oh,
That's it.
man. Hot
just,
out there.
that's it. No
That's a
humidity.
cool
though.
front.
Yeah, it's a cold front.
Is that winter weather for you guys? You guys need your parkas?
I don't even
All
know how
right.
the actual
Well, we
work
got
works.
some league recon to get into after talking
good.
about linebackers for far too long, my least favorite position group, and I hope to never talk about them ever again.
We will.
Unfortunately, we do.
Yeah.
But there were some big contracts signed. Let's give a round of applause to Bijan Robinson for getting 3 years, $75 million, $54 million guaranteed. Craziest part, though, is even though now he's the highest paid running back in the league, it's still not the most guaranteed money to a running back. We'll do a little trivia question. Do you guys know who it is?
I think I.
Jeremiah Love.
It is Jeremiah
Oh,
Love.
that's right.
That's why you don't take a running back in the top 4.
Yeah.
Is number 6 safe?
No.
Yeah. So that makes it very interesting with this because there's another running back contract that's looming right now. And I think Bijan's 1 and I think Gibbs is 2. And that contract's gonna be coming up. And if you guys don't know, he's a hold in, right? So he's holding in, which means he's not practicing, and he fully is aware of what Bijan just got. So Detroit, good luck.
I just wonder how much more Gibbs will get over Bijan. So I think some positional players, especially running backs, are always like never wanting to sign the record deal because then the next running back in line is going to get it. Because I forget who's next. So there's Gibbs, and I'm sure there is maybe Jonathan Taylor's probably up for a second contract, if I'm not mistaken.
He's
So
already
him-
signed.
Did he already sign?
Yeah,
Previous?
last offseason.
Okay.
Last offseason. Yeah, there's probably a handful more, but none. These are the first
No.
2 that are coming up out that, these are the ones that are going to reset the market. The next tier probably won't reset it. Next one will probably be Jeremiah Love in a few years, but no, it's definitely Bijan and Gibbs. So
All right, let's
Ethan,
have the conversation. I'm going to bring it up. Is it worth paying Gibbs $25.5 million a year, or do you think about trading him?
Oh man,
I mean,
I'm
they're
gonna
going
do
to
it.
keep him.
with how Detroit is now.
Yeah, but you
why
could
would-
tag him after the year and then trade him. You can hold him for the year. You have all the leverage if you're an NFL team.
no, he's going to get it. I think he's going to get 3 for probably 80-ish, and then let's say probably 55 guaranteed, more than likely, somewhere in that range, somewhere in that ballpark, or they go 4 for, it's 80s, but the guarantee is all that matters here, right? So like, all they're going to look at is they're going to see guaranteed, and then that's what they're going to base that off of. And I'm keeping both. I'm keeping them.
Yeah.
They bring too much to this team.
Well, and I can understand like the interest of like he's probably the highest value you're gonna get, so maybe you can get a haul and some picks and whatever, and maybe you can hold out for a serviceable running back that won't cost you as much. But also, I would say too, like with Detroit, he needs to be in that offense just to make them as versatile as they are. Like without Gibbs, you really don't have another option for Amon
What?
St. Brown or
Whoa.
Pacheco.
They have Isaiah Pacheco.
oh, is that right?
As you were saying, Cody.
Yeah. So I just think for Detroit's offense, like Gibbs is the guy that needs to be there to make that offense better. And I mean, don't get me wrong, you can get a king's ransom, but I just think then Detroit just goes spiraling downward to like nothing.
There's 2 running backs you pay the bag for, and it's Gibbs and Bijan. In this league, those are the 2. Anyone else, I think you have a legit argument on trade them or not.
Mm-hmm.
But like Bijan and Gibbs, like they're so dynamic, they're so versatile, they're so important. He's going to get what he wants.
All right. In fantasy, who would you take first?
Bijan.
Yeah, I'm probably taking Bijan still.
I'll be fine.
Bijan's
I'll
so
take
good.
Gibbs. I mean, Bijan is good. I just have a problem. Like, with how much they're getting paid now, like, is Bijan that much better than like
Yes.
Devon Achane?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a $10 million difference now.
10 million worth it. Yes, that's the
better
difference.
Circumstance for Bijan at least.
Yeah.
Bijan clears
I
the
mean,
entire
I mean, I agree.
when Omari
I'm not saying he
Hampton comes
doesn't.
up for a contract, you know, in what 3-4 seasons or whatever, and he honestly, like, the floor for him will be this Bijan contract, because you got to think running
Wait,
backs
who?
that are-
No, Hampton.
No, Omari and Hampton? Well, yeah, I mean, it'll be the floor because it'll be, but there's no way that this is the floor because that would mean he's like a very good player. He's
first
not,
round-
he wouldn't get paid that right now, like if he were a free agent.
No. I'm saying when the time comes for his contract, like when he can do that. What are we saying? Like
You're-
3 or 4 seasons, maybe?
There's nobody that's going to be Bijan or Gibbs in 3 or 4 years.
I don't know about that one.
I think with how the NFL is, there's a running back.
Somebody's going to
or
get paid more. It's whether they're a better player. Somebody's going to get paid more money than them.
I'm just saying, like, he will probably earn that, not because he's as skilled as Gibbs or Bijan, but just because, like, when he's due up for that contract and you're looking for a running back, a specialty, like, you're going to pay that to keep a player like that on your team. Now, I'm not saying
3 or 4 years from now, though, it could completely change as far as like production, who's doing what, and what, you know, is Jim Harbaugh still even there? Like,
right.
You know, what's happened since, you know, is Herbert still even there? Like, there's a lot of factors that are going to go into it. So, I mean, yes, Hampton could be that guy that could, you know, possibly get to that. Jeremiah Love could also be one of those guys in a few years, but we still have to see what
there.
Ashton Genty, like
Genty.
those, like these are the next crop of guys, and it's one of those where it's like none of those guys are Bijan Robinson.
How about this, Cody? I'll answer your question like this. If in the next 3 to 4 years the Chargers win the Super Bowl, Amari and Hampton get paid whatever money he wants.
And if
That
they
started
don't,
out
is he-
hilarious.
right. And if they don't, do they trade him?
Yes, because I don't believe in trading running back, or I don't believe in signing running backs. Just like I said, I don't believe in them the first round. I've been pretty consistent about this.
Yes, you have been. That's very funny.
But if there was one in the first round, it's Gibbs or Bijan. For sure.
Bijan just
know.
all around, like he's running it, he's catching it at a receiver clip. Like he could be a receiver too. Like he could line him up as a receiver, line him up in the slot, line him up at tight end. He's probably still going to be able to do it.
He has no weakness. His vision, his speed, his power, his elusiveness. Like, there is no weakness in what Bijan does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And
I
he's
guess-
playing in the shitty franchise. Like he's playing for the Falcons too. So like it's one of those where imagine if he was actually on his like with like the Bears. Imagine if he was with like the
Dan
Chargers.
Johnson.
Right.
You know,
I mean,
a team-
agreed. Like if they were on the Chargers and there's this take, LT was a first round running back and got paid. This
did
is a
get
much
that.
different NFL than what LT
Right.
was playing in. Like it's not really fair to like I'm saying in the modern NFL, do I think it's worth it to pay a running back $25 million when I can get the same amount of value out of a running back for $10 million? I mean, Kyron Williams is like not that good of a running back, but production wise, he's up
not
there
doing
with
what
those
Bijan's
guys.
doing.
Right.
No, I mean he's not, but is that a $15
So
million?
you're paying Bijan for what he's actually doing, which is the production. That 10 extra million is the dude could easily be a thousand person, and that's
Bro, I would have been stoked if Chiefs got like Bijan in free agency for 3 years, 80 mil.
Yeah,
I'd have
we
been
wouldn't hear
litty.
the end of it still.
And I'm with you. I don't like running backs getting paid or drafting first round, but like Bijan's one of those that I would mortgage the future for, especially if I'm already set up.
where the Falcons aren't set up.
They are not.
Well, and
Not
also
with that
too,
quarterback.
that franchise has to overpay to keep a marquee player like Bijan that you hope maybe attracts maybe another decent player that wants to play next to him. So
Don't even get me started on the Drake London deal. We can have fun with all these.
That wasn't even close to as bad as Zay Flowers' deal.
Which
Yeah.
get us into the next contract. Zay Flowers, 4 years, 140.
like that.
What's like I think 60 guaranteed or something like that.
A lot.
Um,
You know who hurts the most with seeing that? Rasheed Rice. This same contract.
I
like,
think Chiefs
window.
fans can sigh a little sigh of relief for Chiefs fans then.
Well, yeah, but like Rasheed Rice has got to be kicking himself to see where that average receiver market is.
he better pray that he's not like unemployed next season.
He might be, but like, holy, and I hate to say it because Flowers isn't bad, but like, holy overpay, right?
Well, yes, he's not. I mean, that you can look at this is an argument, Ethan, that we can like the production's not Justin Jefferson level, all these other guys' level where, hey, I mean, get your bag. We always say get your bag. So I'm not going to hate on Zay Flowers for making paper, but what a time to be alive.
All right, fine, I'll say it. He's just not a good player. Like, I don't know why. Like, you guys are just skirting around it. Like, Zay Flowers, like, good for him. Like, he got paid a lot of money. But I've watched that dude fumble so much in critical moments.
But
like,
he didn't fumble this bag.
He's what people think QJ is. Like, everyone hates on QJ. And, like, QJ has the drops from his rookie year. But, like, Zay Flowers somehow is now getting paid like a top 5 wide receiver with the production of, like, a wide receiver 3. He's a slot receiver.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm trying to
that's my
find
comparison.
That just goes to show you how bad the Ravens have been at trying to bring in these receivers for Lamar. So it's kind of like, well, here you go.
I can't remember the last time the Ravens had like a solid, like elite offense. It always seems like you got to either.
Well, the offense has been elite. Now we can talk. Now the receivers, on the other hand, can be
certain players. I wouldn't say the whole offense.
I'm pretty sure Todd Monken had them as a top 5 unit, like
not too long ago. Yeah,
well, I mean, Zay Flowers has had back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons, had 900 yards as a rookie, so like it hasn't been awful.
No,
but it also hasn't like elevated that offense. I think like he's just the recipient of being like the only person getting targets. But if you watch like Jamar Chase or JSN or
Justin Jefferson,
all those, like they do a lot more with less.
Yeah, you can name easily 5 receivers that you would take over him and pay over him. Like that's not.
He didn't even crack my like top 20 receiver list.
I'm gonna say
he got paid and it's good, but like,
what a time to be alive.
Lad McConkey's a better player, and they're very comparable.
Well, looks like Lad's getting ready to get a 4-year, $140 million.
I definitely.
He will, and I'll celebrate when it happens. To be honest,
I can't remember what was Alex Pierce's deal. Was it
114?
Okay,
it is a lot.
Three for 114.
Got it.
I don't remember what the guarantee. It was like a 60-some million guaranteed too.
Yeah, I'd rather have Zay with his contract than Alec Pierce with his. I will say that much.
1,000%.
Yeah. And then the next one is obviously Baker's unhappy in Tampa, and he aired out a lot of dirty laundry. Is this a divorce waiting to happen?
I love Baker, but he's got to keep some stuff like that in house.
He's going on NFL Network. No shame in his game at all.
I love Baker, but come on, man. I don't know if this is your agent trying to like play the game or what, but like that's not a good look, man.
I gotta say though, and I guess this will lead to a take that I'll fire off. I've been doing hot takes pretty much all night, and I'll continue with one more. I think Tampa is gonna end in the top 5 in the draft.
Yeah, probably.
They are like, the vibes are so bad right now. Baker's going in the media like basically saying that they're not paying him enough. Vita Vea requested a trade. Mike Evans left. Chris Godwin is like nowhere to be heard right now. Like the only player that's like notable at the moment is Emeka Egbuka.
Well, on the offense, yeah.
Yeah.
Bucky Irving. Damn. I mean, there was a lot of young talent wasted probably until they go get one of those quarterbacks in top 5.
Why don't they just trade Antoine Winfield to the Chiefs while they're at it?
Buy or sell in Tampa. What do we want, boys?
Well, I think it all started with their handling of Levante David. That kind of was. There's probably not a dude in the NFL who was respected more than Levante David in general, especially in Tampa. And then I guess that was kind of rocky from what I was reading. So then you lose your next stalwart with Mike Evans.
Well, Atlanta's got their next quarterback next year.
I mean, listen, I can totally understand that Baker should not be airing out dirty laundry to the public. I get it. As a franchise quarterback, he should not. But, you know, also like Baker has gone through some interesting teams. And so Baker, this is kind of his deal. But also, I think Baker's in a unique position where there may be some teams that are willing to take a chance on a Baker because like Atlanta doesn't have good options right now. You know, I wouldn't say the Panthers. Never mind.
Las Vegas.
Las Vegas, maybe. Yeah, who knows? I would Miami, maybe. Depending on what they're looking.
There's a lot of teams that'll need Baker. Like I think Baker. Like there's even teams you're not thinking of that would take a Baker Mayfield at this current time. Because there's also
Steelers
like
would
young
want Baker
players.
Mayfield right now.
Yeah, I mean, the Cleveland would want Baker Mayfield. Houston might want Baker Mayfield after the year.
Yeah.
Like there are plenty of teams that that have quarterbacks, quote unquote, right now that will want Baker because whether you like Baker or not, he's at least a top 15 guy in the league. And so if you can upgrade to a top half guy from a bottom half, like you're not telling me the Rams, like if Matt Stafford retires and they don't believe in Ty Simpson,
the Vikings.
Oh my God, they pay King's ransom right now.
Well, you even got like if you don't believe in Daniel Jones after this season, like the Colts, like there are teams with quote unquote their guys right now. But if we're talking after this upcoming season and a lot more plays out, you're looking at a lot of teams that would be more than happy to have Baker in house.
Yeah,
I mean the biggest one is probably the Cardinals, like
Steelers.
If you're sitting there at Arizona and you have like the number 3 pick and you don't think you can get one of the top 2 guys, why wouldn't you sign Baker and then sign the best non-quarterback in the draft?
Yep.
Trade back and get some capital to somebody who wants one of those quarterbacks in the draft. I mean, there's a lot of teams. Aaron Rodgers is retiring, so the Steelers could be an option.
The Jets is a good one. We just got that in a comment.
Yep, Jets.
You can always say Jets with quarterbacks. Why wasn't that just the first team?
Mr. Fart says Baker plays for Cleveland in 2027.
Ooh.
There you go, Mr. Farts.
Run it back.
Well, did you see the report that they're looking at extending Deshaun Watson?
They are actually.
No, they're not.
They are.
Why?
They're not. It's not going to be the ridiculous amount. It'll be smartly done now. But
what has he done to even get any more of your money?
Well, we'll see how that marriage continues. Maybe it'll be
He's a good training camp guy.
League recon this offseason.
Yeah, just don't.
He's good for the locker room.
He's a staple in the community.
Staple in the community, keeping them open. Cody, take us home before we go on before we get where we don't need to go.
All right. So first off, thank you guys so much for tuning in to West War Room Rivals, your AFC West show of choice. Want to shout out our sponsors. I forgot to do that at the top of the show, but you can see in the corners and up top we have our sponsors. We have Field Ops over there in the where Ethan is at, and Emporia State Federal Credit Union near where I'm at, and then JBW Solutions up in the upper corner right there. Shout out to our 3 sponsors right now for making us, being able to do this at least in some form or fashion. And shout out to you guys for watching, interacting, leaving comments, giving us your opinions, and hanging out with us on social media. We really appreciate you guys. Please go subscribe to West War Room Rivals. You're watching it right now. We have new shows that are coming out. Corey just launched his Orange and Blue Debrief. Ethan just launched Aftershock with his other co-host as well. We do have some other shows that are in the pipeline as well. So the War Room is growing, you guys. So definitely subscribe so that way you guys aren't missing out. And thank you guys so much for helping us meet our goal of 650 before this month. I mean, we should claim that. We zoomed right past it on the first, like annihilated it, and then
claim it.
Claim it.
So, and we're on the doorstep to 700. So with your guys' help, go subscribe to the War Room. And we are so thankful for you guys. We also have a special guest on Thursday. This is the Cowboy fan, Michael. We had to reschedule. He had some interesting words to say about Justin Herbert. So I can't wait for Ethan and him to talk about their quarterbacks amongst the division. So you guys have anything else before we go?
Yeah, is his quarterback dating Madison Beer? Point proven.
Don't.
Appreciate you, Chupacabra Farts. We'll see you in here Thursday for the Dak Prescott, Justin Herbert debate.
Can't wait. All right, guys. We'll see you.